Boom. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Well, I can't believe it. I'm live again. Got my tasty beverage. Well, good news, friends. Or I guess if I'm going to say that, I should say, good news, everyone. Good progress today. If we smack back here and take a peek, the good news is that I got the this little bit.
Previously on Salt and Light.
Hey, Asher. How'd it go with the king?
You weren't thinking about that girl again.
Our moment may be at hand.
Excellent.
Father never would have.
Tianara, enough of this.
Kids nowadays.
She will thank me later.
You little...
I really like doing those little bits. I guess I could turn on my webcam, couldn't I? It's a lot of fun to chop those together. It usually takes only about 15 minutes or so to find the bits from the previous episode to put that little segment together. So we got that segment in there. Zuko is chirping over there, so he's saying hello. And then this is, of course, the next time on bit, which does not yet have anything in there because it looks like the 5th webisode is going to be, holy smoke, almost 8 minutes long. So they seem to be getting longer. But it's time to do the soundtrack now. I'm not going to try to do that live here today. So, but I have done a boatload of fixes and punch-ups on these shots the last few days, and we are ready for soundtrack. So, that's good. So where to go from here, friends? Where to go from here? Well, I'm going to jump forward to, once we get webisode 5 out, we have officially got an entire 24-minute TV show done and posted. And so now what I'm doing is I'm delving into episode 2, and I'm just going to kind of go through some of the footage here and see what we have. But I am looking forward to this. I think it's going to be nothing but fun because, excuse me, in a very real sense, the drama of the show is starting to pick up. You know, things are starting to heat up, and Mel's now on a mission. He's got this letter that he has to deliver. It's really important that he not lose it. And so, as you can see, Monkey sees the bag in Mel's pocket. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking at the footage on episode 2, which of course is going to comprise webisodes 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And absolutely, this is going to be nothing but fun. So, what am I doing today? Well, I'm just going to go through and try to find things that are wrong or bad or need to be fixed up. So that's what I'm doing. What are you doing? There's one concurrent viewer, so somebody's watching. Say hello. Say hello. Let's have fun creating a cartoon. Together, shall we? Tasty beverage tonight is a light beer from Miller. I hope it's not a violation of the YouTube user agreement to drink a beer publicly. Hey, Blifton, what's going on, man? You are number one on the chat tonight. So yeah, I was cranking for about 3 hours earlier today, and I don't know how long I'll go tonight. It'll probably be about an hour, I expect. Probably till about 9 o'clock. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. So we're just looking at the little episode and trying to find things that are just not good enough. Just not up to scratch. So if there's any questions or interesting topics of discussion, feel free to weigh in. What are you doing, Blifton? What are you working on? You've been hanging out with me here on this channel for well in excess of a year, And I don't know too much about what you're doing in the animation space, but I'd certainly be curious. Have you joined the Discord? Some of the guys that have been around for a long time, like you know, guys like Sifter and Tom and Amar. You know, there's some pretty cool stuff they're working on over there on the Discord. Okay, so yeah, this is, I gotta tell you, I think the second episode, if I can get the facility with the scoring, if the scoring can go as smoothly as it did on the last webisode I did, which I expect it will, it's getting easier and easier, then I think the second 24-minute episode is actually going to come together quicker than the last one. And at this point, I mean, the last couple webisodes have only taken about 2 weeks to smack together. Now, I don't expect that pace to continue once I have to create completely new animation from, you know, total scratch. But see, and you can see in the back half here, this stuff was done more recently, and I was getting better at integrating some of these sort of anime idioms that you see. It's cool stuff. It's just fun, you know, like that. Just keeps the thing popping and moving. So I haven't looked at this in quite a long time. There's a piece in the middle that I was working on, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, in terms of new footage that needs to be animated. But for the most part, I haven't just sat and looked through it like this. But I gotta say, I'm basically liking what I see here. You guys maybe can't feel it, but when I'm watching it, I can feel the, I don't know, just the coolness of the show and the characters and the problems. I can feel it all coming through better and better as we progress through it. Interesting. So Darren's Collab just doing matte painting, huh? Awesome. I love the art of matte painting. I think I haven't done a lot with digital matte painting in the sense of 2.5D and that sort of thing, but as far as traditional, one of the best books I ever read at the library was The Invisible Art. Boy, did Jim Barron write that? I can't remember who wrote it, but it's a book called The Invisible Art, which is a really complete treatise on the entire historical development, going back to Norman Dawn and obviously Peter Ellenshaw, Pop Day. I mean, those guys that were doing traditional glass matte paintings, just amazing what they would do. Impressionistic art. And in fact, I tell you, if you're a budget filmmaker like I've been, that is the best way to, you want to get production value on a modern, you know, a modern movie shot on a low budget with a digital cam. The way to get the additional production value is the greatest secret is just lock the camera. Just do what they did back in the day before they had digital. They had to lock the camera. The only way you could do a matte painting was to have a locked shot, and then you'd paint around it, right? Well, if you do that digitally, you can add tons of production value to a low-budget production, and of course you can use digital elements, some of which might be animated, you know, to sort of give it some life. But I'm big on matte painting. I'm not big into doing a lot of 3D tracking and stuff like that, because it just, the amount of work it takes goes up by an order of magnitude, probably 2 orders of magnitude actually. It's so much harder than just doing a traditional matte painting. But it's a beautiful thing. I love good matte painting. Is there anywhere I can see your work? Are you on, you have a YouTube channel? I assume you're, I mean, obviously you're on YouTube, but it'd be cool to see what you're doing there, buddy. Cool to see what you're doing. In the Blade Runner extras, Blade Runner, wow, that's hilarious. Blade Runner, I have a very, very interesting connection to Blade Runner. I don't know if you knew that, but I have a because I worked with one of the key actors in Blade Runner, of course, the lovely and gracious Sean Young. I put her in a movie, and we spent quite a bit of time together, actually, and she's a neat person. Sean Young, of course, played Rachel in Blade Runner. But did you know that? If you didn't know that, I'll point you to the movie I wrote and directed and had a big role in, actually, that featured Sean Young. You probably already knew that. It's not like I don't mention it here and there. Bragging on myself. I haven't accomplished much in my life, but that was kind of a cool thing. Did it naturally, so there was a matte painter who painted in reverse colors so they could save an exposure generation. Oh my gosh. That would be brutally difficult. Cool, though. Super cool. Excuse me. Guess I need another drink of my tasty beverage. So I think those earlier shots here were all done in Krita, and now we're getting into the stuff that was more Tahoma, and so you're seeing that glow effect that I kind of rolled my own schematic plug-in, if you will, by creating a macro in Tahoma so that I could do a glow effect, because the that glow effect that's baked into Tahoma is actually pretty buggy. Didn't really work that well, so I just rolled my own with blurs and etc. But yeah, if you're doing matte painting digitally, I'll show this. This movie is not very good because some of the acting choices really weren't the best. It was a low budget film, and I don't even have I haven't even kept the footage and all that. But I should publish this, though. I could publish this on YouTube. I probably should. Some people would probably find it interesting. I'll give you a little.
Okay,
this is actually the director's commentary on this movie called Out of Time. But if you look at this film, there's so much stuff in this movie. Again, very low budget film, but we got so much mileage out of it.
There's Donio. That's him right there.
And I'm going to mute the audio so you don't have to listen to it. But, just painting, because the camera's locked. The interesting thing about a locked camera is that if you frame shots well, just follow the rule of thirds, all this stuff was not actually there, right, when they did the scene. But if you just follow the rule of thirds and then lock a camera, for a low-budget filmmaker, that is the single most significant thing you can do to add production value to your movie. Don't try to be moving the camera, and don't overthink the fundamental classic rules of composition. So here you had all this is all a great example of what I'm talking about. This whole sequence here, these guys are in this lab. All of this is virtual. This was all done in Blender 10 years ago. In fact, the screens on their computers are actually Blender. They're just stuff I just took Blender and split the windows and just made up stuff. Let me see what we have here. I really should just publish this. All these computer screens are all laid in digitally, and it's just easy as pie because that whole background, that's all a digital matte painting. That one right there is 100% just Blender 3D. It's pretty amazing, actually, how much and to be fair, with this particular movie, I was not doing that great a job on the composition. If I shot this today, I would shoot these shots quite a bit wider. I wouldn't chop off their heads like that. But yeah, I'm waiting for this shot that was a full full on. Here we go. Watch this. This is full on CGI. So he's looking down, and it's like we just move the camera. I just bring the camera around and shoot up at him, and then I shoot at the back of the guy, and then I literally had him act it twice so that I could simulate a reflection in the glass. That reflection is not there. He just acted it twice. If you look really close, you can see him move a little bit, and it doesn't match. But yeah, this was all created in Blender 10 years ago. Pretty crazy, huh? Like that, all that stuff. I just sat on the floor and pointed the camera up at the guys, and then we just created a digital matte painting around them. So all this stuff, all that stuff you saw right there in the background does not exist. Right? I should have hit the pause button. It was a fun movie to make, and it was brutally cold. We shot it in this house right there. All of this stuff is fake. It's all fake. And it's actually the reason the movie was color graded to be kind of like The Matrix. It's all kind of tilted towards green because it gave me the ability to unify the CGI with the live action video better. You know, again, if I was doing this today, I would have done a better job. The contrast levels and the lighting on these guys would have been better than it was. I just frankly didn't do that great of a job. But just scan through here and see what we have. You know, we found a guy who knew how to fly a helicopter. So I've said before that every movie I've made has cost $8,000 to make, and it all went to the actors, right? So there's no cost into anything. The helicopter guy was kind of, you know, he wasn't dating my daughter, but he wanted to, and he could fly a helicopter. I was like, dude, can you actually we'll put you in a movie, you know? And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. So this is another great example of all of this. This background over here is all fake. All the computer screens are Blender. They're supposed to look like this really high-tech thing where they're trying to solve. There's basically a time warp anomaly. So that's all Blender using a theme in Blender that's, look at, like, this is a great example. This shot is all green screen. We just put green screen behind them, and then I just created all this stuff in Blender. I look back at it now. Now, to be fair, these things on the ceiling are real because this was my recording studio in my other house, and we had sound reinforcement. All fake. We had entire long sequences in this movie that used virtual backgrounds. And this was 10 years ago. I put a painting on your Discord. Okay, cool, man. I'm going to check that out right now. That's super cool. Discord. You know, I enjoy trying to take some of the glamour out of the whole idea of making a film, because at the end of the day, you know, it's just work. Let's see, probably works in progress. There it is. Oh yeah, cool, dude. Quick painting for our next production in Darren's Discord collab. All right, so for those who are curious, this is what Blifton's talking about. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The thing that's so awesome about matte painting is the way you can just do this completely impressionistic thing, and you know, to a degree, you want it to be a little bit out of focus. You want it to be a little bit impressionistic because at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is that when you film stuff, look at this stuff in the background here. You know, it's all blurred. You know, it doesn't take much motion blur at all to make a shot, you know, look pretty forgiving in terms of the background. And then you just shoot it. I mean, what they did in the old days is you just shoot the thing super wide, specifically so that you could pay the matte painter guy to just build a whole world around them. And my goodness, think about how quickly you can do that digitally nowadays. It's just stupid. And you don't really see filmmakers do it too much, I don't think. They either want to go way overboard with all kinds of 3D tracked CGI and basically take on something that's bigger than they're really capable of, I think probably in most cases. You know, or they complain that you don't have enough money. It's all silly, right? The whole key to this whole movie was it was dark. you know, it's a scary movie, and so, like I said, I may just go ahead and post this. I don't think the people that paid me to make the movie back in the day would give a rip if I posted it, because I don't even think this movie's available to see anymore, actually. I don't think it can be watched, so I'm just kind of scanning through to see if there's anything that's really cool from a you know, matte painting standpoint. But there was a lot, man. There was a ton of digital matte paintings in that movie, and it was a very, very cool movie to do, and the soundtrack's good too. In fact, you know what I'll do? Let me see something here. Let me see what I have in the music archives, because the music from this movie would be really cool background music while I'm live streaming, actually. I've used it before a couple times, and it's kind of like having to go through and figure out where I saved the music tracks. Music masters, there we go. So here's a good one. So I'll just pop up a quick playlist here. This is actually the movie that I've mentioned it before, where all the music was actually in C. The whole movie was on a C minor chord, basically. It's like one chord, the whole movie. Pretty crazy. Is that too loud, by the way, in the background? That's probably too loud. Something like that. Does that sit well? Let me know in the chat if that sounds okay, you know, isn't overly obnoxious. So yeah, it may change. It just took Maria's script and did a quick doodle. Hey, if that's a quick doodle, man, that's pretty respectable. Cool stuff. Oh, there's a hiccup. Yep, look at that. The shadows didn't match. Let's fix that right now. That's shot number 522. File, load scene. 522.tnz. So like I said, let me know if the music's too loud. Or too quiet, I guess. Either way. Okay, it looks like what I did was... it looks like the character is in a sub-scene. And indeed, actually, it's in a second level sub-scene. Yep, look at that. There you go. There's the problem right there. Boop. So, and let's see what this shot is. That one comes back to the other. So what we want to do here is hit the B key and just smack in a shadow. How in the world I missed that, I have absolutely no idea, but not the end of the world. We'll just fix it now, which is exactly what I decided I was going to do tonight, is just kind of look through episode 2 and find things that could be improved. Alright, we'll get these shadows going. Okay, and then this one needs to smack back to the first one. Kill all that, and then fill in empty cells, and then we go back up, and we should be able to just render it. That was quick and easy, huh? Well, there's bound to be flaws. Let's see if that worked. Yep, that worked. Now, you can see here, actually, in this shot, I think I'm probably going to ignore it, but this shot has an issue where the glow effect that's interacting with this bright area is actually catching his eyes too. So you're getting a glow around his eyes that really shouldn't be there. And you see it when he blinks. Boop. See that? That's bad. That's bad, friends. So nobody's complaining about the music, so I assume it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that glow effect. Mel's kind of puking on the I think, romantic language that Vespar is using with Tianara here at this point. And man, I love that shot of Tianara. She looks hot in that picture, doesn't she? Come on, admit it. She's hot. She is hot. Hey, Maria. I'm just working. Just doing what I do. Having fun. Rocking and rolling. Poor Vespar. Okay, where are we at? We're here. Vespar is getting indignant. And she makes a snarky comment. Some of the dialogue through this sequence is funny. This tense exchange between Vespar and Tianara, where he's kind of trying to be polite at first, and then he gets offended, and he's indignant because, you know, he's a self-entitled prince. Okay, stop right there. This looks stupid as can be. That's 541. I wonder if that's a Tahoma. File, save all. Load scene. Which one did I say that was? I said that was 541. I suspect it's a Credo, but we'll find out. 541.tnz. Oh, I guess it's a Tahoma. Okay, so this looks like stupider than, like, really, really stupid. I am going to go in here and see what we have that we're working with here. This looks like just a really, really poorly set up plastic tool. That's what it looks like to me. Let's look at the actual picture. I mean, the picture's not exactly good, but it doesn't exactly stink. Let's fix this here, and then we'll look at the plastic tool situation. Okay, let me... At work today, you got a new assignment. Your supervisor wants to use it to advocate for my being hired as a permanent instead of contract work. Good. Glad to hear it. You go, girl. That's awesome. I hope it works out for you. It's always... Life is a little less stressful when you know where you stand, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this in a slightly risky manner by just erasing a piece of it to sort of try to find... I'm just going to try to find the contour. And how can I do this? I think what I'll do is add another color and make it a raster brush, just a sketch brush kind of thing, so that I can selectively erase it when I need to. So, and it probably wouldn't be the worst idea ever to use the you know, flipping the canvas. That looks like that's probably going to be better. Let's try it. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and let this contour come up over that. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the eraser, as Darren would say, eraser with a Z instead of an S. Okay, G key to sample the color, F key to fill that in, G key to sample that color, F key to fill that in, G key to sample that, F to fill that in, and that looks way better. Just that one change is like light years better. Okay, as far as I can tell though, the plastic tool still sucks to high heaven. So let's hit the X key and look at what we have. Okay, okay. It looks like a pretty good skeleton, actually. Now, what I might consider doing is adding some utility nodes around here, so we really can control this. But that, yeah, these keys, I don't know about these keys. So I think what I'm going to do is, let me see if there's any key that looks good, and that one looks good. This one looks good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that to the clipboard and paste it up here. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. And then that's a tween. We'll just try to find it here. Got some motion blur on there. I'm not so sure I'm sold on that, but you know what? I have a feeling that's going to look a lot better. We'll see. That looks horrible, though. Why does it look so bad? I mean, I guess it's not that bad. It's still a little... Her anatomy looks a little distended or something. So, let me look at this. I mean, that looks pretty good. Not like amazing or anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the V key. It's set to lines and areas. Cover that up a little better. See how that goes. Come over here. And why do we have this strange crinkle? It's like... Turn this on. I'm just kind of playing with it. This is one of those deals where you work with it and you're kind of thinking, you know, this probably isn't going to work, but I'm going to try it and see if I can kind of make it work. That feels pretty good to me. So this is horrible. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that. Let's turn on keep distance. So if we agree that this looks okay, the hand gets here, so look at the way that's growing. That's not acceptable. Get rid of that, get rid of that. All right, let's redo the acting here. Okay, and normally we want to have at least a 4-frame leader. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this a two-frame change, and I'll bet you this is going to look a lot better. Yeah. And then when she pulls it away, Control C, Control V, and then again, just a 2-frame weight shift, just a natural weight shift that you would get just from doing it, and then we'll go ahead and let her recoil. I think that'll look pretty cool, like that. Isn't that better? That's better. Friends, that's better. I'm gonna hit Control Shift R and see how it looks in the show. Just go for it. Okay, looks like a bit of chat here. Congrats in lieu of actual success. We'll get there. Positive thing. That hand is nicely drawn. You talking about this hand here? You talking about my hand that I drew? Tianara. I appreciate that. This is what the final shot looks like, you know, because I'm using the body highlight effect and everything. So I have a feeling this is going to look a lot better now. Oh my gosh, so much better. Now, the recoil is too fast. Doesn't feel good. All right, so let's go back in the sub-X sheet, or sub-scene, I guess is Tahoma likes to call it, and let's just add 1 frame there. Yep. Pop back up out of there and re-render it. It's only 24 frames, but you know, and obviously you could punch it up with a little blink too. Yep, let's do that. What the heck? I've been kind of going crazy on the blinks because they make such a difference, and they're so, well, cheap, frankly. Cheap and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say right here, she's going to do a blink. So I'm going to make a deduplicate. And just make this a, oops, I'm just going to make this a quick and dirty blink shot. So V key, just, I like using the Smart Raster paintbrush for this type of stuff because you can just cover everything up really easily and quickly. Just, you know, cake. Smack in some lashes, and then here obviously we want to jump back to that, which kind of wrecks this. But what we could do is assume that if she's gonna do this action, frankly right about here there would probably be another blink anyway. So let's put that in there, hit the Q key, extend this down to here, and then just delete all these extra frames. Okay. Render that, and I betcha. So you guys can probably see this, that I think I'm safe to say that my ability to see what needs to be fixed or improved and to kind of get it right seems to be improving. I seem to be getting faster at doing a better job. And I wouldn't say that if I wasn't pretty sure it was happening. Oh, I love that sequence. That is so cool. Works with the music too, doesn't it? Okay, let's go back here. And then Mel hears her coming. She's coming out from behind the tent. It's like, ah! So he takes off. And now he's peeking to see what goes on down there. Boy, I really like this. I haven't looked at this in a long time. But I do like the way the acting and and I tell you, episode 2 is going to be a lot of fun. Ah, look at that. I love this whole sequence. This is so cool. I want to watch it again. I haven't looked at this in months. You know, I was kind of on a roll when I did this, you know. Me, I'm nobody. You did not see me, she says. Yeah, like, okay, no problem. And then he remembers he's got to get his bag back. It's got the letter in it. There it is. But then he hears Fala come in. Fala, who, of course, is voiced by the lovely and gracious Maria Torres. And then he realizes that it's gone, of course, right? Okay, I tell you, this whole sequence looks pretty darn good to me. I'm thinking we're going to be able to blaze pretty quickly through the first 2 webisodes of, you know, the second full episode. Then the rain starts. So, consequences, imagine, watching you do the entire animation process helped me a lot. I'm glad to hear it, my friend. I'm glad to hear it. I'm hoping Ed Hooks is wrong and that I'm not a pioneer, because the pioneers are the ones who wind up dead on the frontier and everybody else gets the reward, right? No, I don't want to be that kind of pioneer. I have pretty good confidence. I actually think once this is all put together and people see the full 40-minute thing, they're going to be like, okay, I want to know what happens next, right? And I'm pretty confident. I could be wrong. I might get a nasty, nasty surprise. But here's hope. Here's hoping, friends. I'm not going to bother with putting the rain in right now. There's a few shots that still need the rain inserted. Okay, now I will say Golek's, this shot was done fairly recently. I believe these are Tahoma shots. And Golek's garments are pretty saturated. Now, vis-a-vis what I did earlier today, it's worth considering just doing a secondary color corrector. But, let's take a look. This is 601. 601.tnz. Load her up, baby. You want to know what happens next, do you? Okay. Okay, so now this is a little strange. That color looks okay, so what's going on here? Has this already got a color corrector on it? It might just be because there is not a color corrector on here. So we have kind of a pretty big change. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to cut and paste this to the clipboard. And then I'm going to come over here and hit Control V. So I'm pasting a screenshot from the show into here simply so that I can go into Golek's layer. And what I want to do is select this color, so I'll hit the G key to select that palette entry. And then I'm going to go north here a little bit. And what I'm going to do is hit the R key to sample that color. And for his hat, G key to sample that palette entry, and then R key to sample that color. Alright, now I can turn these off. Let's see what happens. Let's re-render this and just see what it looks like in the show. Because it sure looks for all the world like there's some color correction on there. Why is it so dark? It's a bit strange. I mean, it's actually very strange. I remember doing something with this shot that had to do with the color, and I don't remember what I did. It's been a couple weeks ago. Let's just try a color corrector. Just play with this a little bit. Let's pop open the gamma a little bit. That looks better. And the glow looks good too because it's more consistent with this light that's coming down from the ceiling. So, okay, I went a little too far. So let's split the difference a bit. But yeah, that looks better. Okay, so this shot, same problem. Save our work. Go back here to shot number 602. And this is what happens. You know, you're going fast. You're rocking and rolling. And sometimes you know, flub some of the details. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing again. I'm going to hit Control V. It should still be on the clipboard, I think. Okay. And looks like Golek. Yeah. I think I'm going to spitball this. I'm just going to guess. This should be actually less saturated and just a little bit darker. And what about this? This is, oh, it's in a different level. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I really broke Golek up into a bunch of different layers on this particular shot. So I'm gonna try that. So I'm just guessing, kind of hoping for the best here. See what happens. So let's take this out and render it and just kind of see what we get. Probably eyeballing it with a little bit of, okay, well that was not supposed to happen. I guess we will blame Tahoma for that. That's pretty wacky, Tahoma. That's like a buffer issue where it's, look at that. Okay, hold on. I know what's wrong. Let's go back here. Okay, this is something you guys would be going like, what the heck is going on? What's going on here is probably this needs to be turned on, which is toggle implicit hold. When I did this shot, yes, I had implicit hold turned on. Generally, most of the time, I've been finding myself, to my own surprise, leaving it off. But there we go. So now we should be able to render, and everything should be groovy cool. Here's hoping, anyway. The colors look right, though. Yes and no. The hat's a little too blue, a little too blue and light. The garment's fine, so let's just darken the hat and we'll be good to go. So here we go. Boom, boom, hat, and this is the color. And as I say, we're gonna just bring that down. Something like that, I think. We'll give it a crack. There we go. There we go. Nice. Boy, those shots of Golok did come out pretty good, didn't they? And then, boop, we get to here. What time is it? Yeah, we've been going for almost an hour. Okay, 6:05. Ah, yes. I do remember this shot. File. Load the scene. 6:05. .tnz. Yes, save all. Open sesame. Okay. Dave, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? It appears that I was using some liberal cutting and pasting, and it also appears that a good bit of the ink work actually is done. I'm not sure I'm loving that. It's okay. I do not like the... Let me just think about this for a minute. I mean, I can see why I did what I did, because I wanted to take a known and established drawing of Golok that I knew looked right and just reuse it as much as possible. But this is kind of one of those examples of where it's what I'm trying to do less of, which is having the shot in various stages of completion. I really prefer to kind of get the pencil test dialed in and then get the ink dialed in before I do any color at all. But I guess technically that looks like that is actually what I did. Let's turn this off. Okay, yeah. Let's see what we have. Okay. So why does he not have a hand? I guess we need to put his hand in there. But in the short run, let's just do a couple. Okay, and why is that leaking? Oh, I can see right there why it's leaking. Yeah, see, you've actually got this. Man. You've actually got ink baked into the drawing. I mean the bit that I cut and pasted. So yeah, I think I used my tighten up brush for the ink on this shot. So fill check. Fill check says there's still gaps, so it must be because of this. Yep, there we go. There's the problem, friends. And why is this? Okay, this is weird. That was strange. But yeah, I gotta extend these down so that they're closed shapes, because the drawings are full HD, but the actual scene is broadcast HD. Hope that makes sense for you, folks. There we go. Looks good. G key, fill tool, boom, boom, boom. And the color, by the way, is wrong. Let's be very clear about that. But we can always change these colors in post, as they say. Okay. So, unfortunately, let's just do the dirty work. There's no getting around it. We gotta close these shapes. And, yep, that looks fine. Same thing here. Fill check tool definitely can be your friend at times. Okay, this is really pretty unacceptable, isn't it? There we go. This one will be a little trickier for obvious reasons. Whoops. That wasn't what I meant to do. I hit the wrong hotkey there. That'll work. Same issue here. I guess I could use the what is it called? The segment mode. Oh, what the heck? Just for fun. Well, actually, I guess it's too late now because I already got them. So, tighten up. B key. Let's actually erase that. And then turn the fill check back off. So these are Maria's favorite kind of ink lines because they're basically pencil lines, actually. But as I said, you're not going to see any of this, but I could just draw a line across, obviously. Right, to close the shapes. Looks like we still have a little gappy poo. Yep, right there. There it is. Here we go. Something coming through in the chat. You do like those pencil lines? Yep. Yeah, for me, it just depends on the project. For some things, like for Futurama, that would not work. It would not look right. Very strange. For some reason, the lines that I'm drawing over here keep wanting to not draw properly. It's a bit strange. So, okay. Aha. So I guess we'll just close this hand. And we will just close that shape. Fix that. Come on. Gotta close these shapes so that we can fill them, and for some reason Tom is not responding to my brush. Mr. Nice. Let's go, Lick. So, man, these colors are just not right. But okay. We'll go ahead and plan on painting over this, but yeah, I'm gonna do the kind of sketchy pencil line thing here. I don't do it a ton on this show, but there's some things that it kind of works for, so we'll just do it this time, and then we'll paint the hand paint the goatee color over it, over top of it. Agreed about Futurama. Right now I'm playing with a project where they don't look right for me. I think it's some architecture going on. Chalk and charcoal's not looking right. Bruno Ryu Animation. Hey Bruno. Thanks for coming. Thanks for checking in tonight. I haven't seen you here before, I don't think. So I want to really kind of be careful here that I don't foul up Golik's characterization. A lot of these are one frame tweens, so we have a little bit of latitude. Okay, so he's gonna have some lip sync, so no point even drawing his mouth in there. Okay, we'll add the color later. But for now, we're getting close to something that's kind of sort of functional. File, save all. I guess I'll render it just to kind of see how it's sitting in the mix with the show a little bit. Yeah, the shadows are so important. So his skin color's wrong. Everything, you know, there's a lot of stuff wrong with him at this point. That's alright, we're just getting it blocked in. Don't like the way I did his hand. I like that. I think I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to leave this one behind for the moment. I don't want to... I'm not really in the mood to fix up his hand or whatever, so... Okay, this shot... This is actually a retread of a shot that's used earlier. When he calls Vespar in. Seems to me... Yep, right there. So this shot will get... That shot's going to actually be reused here. So there's no point fiddling with it. Okay. So this is actually 607. Let's... Probably that's... Well, there probably is no 607 since this is just a storyboard shot. So what I'm going to do is copy that to the clipboard. And I'm actually going to just jump into Krita. I don't know why, but I'm kind of in the Krita mood at the moment. So unless, if no one has any objections, I'm going to save that, create a new scene, boom, and paste that in from the clipboard. And let's save this as, what was that, 607? Okay. And it has 2 layers, so I should be able to go -607.ping, and then Krita, since it does have 2 layers, should ask me if I want to also save it as a Krita file, which I will. Okay. So now, there's a few things about this that are wrong. First and foremost, Golik's headdress. He's got this nasty KKK type thing going on that's wrong. Alright, let's get back to the show, take a peek. Okay, yeah, actually we need to see his ears, and boy. Maria, I'm actually thinking I agree with you. You said the other day when I don't remember why it came up, but I was saying I think that I've gotten better at drawing, you know, in the last year, and you said I have, and you know what? I'm thinking I agree with you. Because I see some stuff that I did, some cases not actually all that long ago. Golly, man, I can do a better job on this. You guys okay with the music that's playing in the background? As I explained earlier, it's all music from the movie I wrote and directed about 10 years ago. So it's like a paranormal mystery kind of thing called Out of Time. There's like some time travel kind of elements to it. Okay, so Golik's basically, look at this. Do we ever see this goofy hat from? Yeah, it's kind of anatomically strange. It actually comes down like this, so we really shouldn't be seeing his hair back there. And this would be a little easier to work with, probably, if I just go ahead and add a color to alpha filter and just get rid of the white. That's kind of what I'm used to, is drawn on a transparent background. Okay, whoops, that's not what I wanted. E key. Not in erase mode, you silly goose. I don't even know if anywhere else in the sequence there's an actual profile of this goofy hat. So I'm kind of flying blind on the whole hat thing. So, okay. That looks okay. Reasonably acceptable. Reasonably acceptable. Alright, and now this is the part that's going to be kind of fun. What is Golik really doing here? He's telling, bring forth the future queen. Yes. So the fun part of this shot is going to be Vespar. So let's save this. I'm going to call this Golik and just put him on his own layer, because Vespar is going to be animated. And so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I'm going to do is, actually, I'm going to take these sketches of Vespar right here from the storyboard. I'm going to cut them to the clipboard and then paste them in so they're in a new layer. And then I'm going to take the A key and just move them over off to the left and turn Golik off. So that way those will be there as a reference. So I kind of know what I'm doing from a pose standpoint. But I've got an idea here what I want to do with Vespar. So let's get him blocked in like this. The basic shape, getting his chin. We'll say, okay, we'll turn Golik back on for a second. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Okay. Alright, turn Golik back on. Vespar, he's a little bit on the skinny side, so I don't want to make him too wide-shouldered. Let's go back to, let's go back to here. We'll use that as a bit of a reference. Alright, cool. So he's got this. This is actually not conical. So I better erase that and start over. That's wrong. I'm drawing it the way it was in the storyboard instead of the way it is in the show. So that's the hat negotiation makes me think of real-life fashion mystery. The French hoods popularized by Anne Boleyn. There are questions about what and how the back was done. The precious few pictures. Huh. Well, it's the trick of it is visualizing in 3D, basically. So I'm gonna just get these keys in here. Let's go ahead and turn on the skins. Okay, so Vespar's gonna, and I'm not even working out the timing at this point. Okay, so essentially his body weight, or his body positioning, doesn't really change too much here. The idea is that he's gonna kind of react here a little bit. So I'm just drawing his sort of squared off chin and his long lanky head. So all I'm trying to do here is just get the feel for the movement. He's gonna kind of blink and look over. Let's just say if his eye line is there, put the eye line there. There's the top of the hat thing, the little. So I'm trying to get the idea that he's kind of like, oh, me? Then shifts his weight around. So this is actually the first frame where his body weight shifts, where he actually turns towards Golek like that. So he's got these little sort of military wing dingers, and then you get what you have here in the storyboard, where I'm looking for this right here, Control C. And then over here in this frame, I'm going to Control Shift V to paste into the current frame. Okay, then we're going to steal this. Here we need to insert a new frame. Control Shift V. And then move this over to here. So he basically bows to Golek. And then he comes back up. So we'll let that sit for like 2 or 3 frames. And then he's going to essentially rise back up. He's going to sit on that for 2 or 3 frames. Oh no. Darn it. Okay, that was stupid. Sorry guys, I made a boo-boo. Classic Krita boo-boo. In that everything I just cut and pasted, I cut and pasted into the wrong layer. Pretty annoying. Okay, so cut that. Go to here. Do we have the one where he's starting to lean in? Yeah, we do. So it's right here. That worked. Okay, so that salvaged it. And then this should be that. And then he's back upright. Hello? Don't fail me now, Krita. And then he turns around and leaves. So let's save our work. Get rid of this temporary guide. Okay, got it. See what's going on? So basically, Golek has told him, go get the girl who's going to be queen. And so Vespar is like, oh, who, me, kind of thing? Oh, all right. Nods, bows to Golek, and now he's splitting. All right, so this shot could probably be... You could actually almost use this as a tween here. But let's not. Let's put in one more frame. Insert. I'm going to turn the skins off so I can just kind of flow with it. So there's the center line. So let's put the center line there. And then he's going to be getting flipped around. So he's kind of doing this, a bit of a military thing. Give myself a lot of work to do here on this shot, I must say. But it's what I want to see happen, so there it is. Okay, A key. I'm going to have him lean into that. So we'll deal with the stuff that we can leverage and reuse later. And I may be not necessarily doing this that great. I'm just kind of chopping it in just to see if I can get the thing feeling about right. Okay, so now there's going to be all kinds of timing issues because we're going to have, so we want to use Shift Alt, I believe. Nope, not Shift Alt. I'm sorry. Yes, Shift Alt to ripple edit this. So I want to give him a half-second leader. And look at this. This is whacked. I need to change this. I need to fix this. There we go. Nope, we want Dave 2. I have a saved layout, which kind of saves my butt when Creed acts stupid and accidentally lets me move panels that really should be locked. Okay, so this should be 8 frames per second. So let's switch that to 8. The whole thing's going to be, yeah, I don't know, let's say 52 frames. Boom, save that. Okay, so go back to the top. Turns, okay. Turns, there should be a brief hesitation, so Shift Alt to ripple edit these. And then 1, 2, probably to maybe about frame 16. Boom, bop. That's pretty close, actually. That's pretty close. So, what are we seeing here? Textiles are disappointing and perishable. Less clothing stuff I wonder about. Yeah, I mean, that's true. You'd think this stuff would pretty much decay, right? So, you guys getting the vibe here of what I'm trying to do with Vespar? Okay, so now let's go back here and see if I can find a... Yes, there it is, actually. Let's put this at full size, and hopefully it'll crop properly. Yes, there we go. Look at that. That's exactly what we wanted. Yep, so there's our eye line. Yes, 5 key. Let's just slip in here. And he's got that Kevin Bacon nose kind of thing going on. Basically, the character is based on Kevin Bacon, actually. Don't ask me why. I have no idea why. It just felt like the right vibe for this character, you know. Okay. So here, not being too mega careful here on the drawing. I think I want to be a little bit sketchier with it. And got to make sure that he looks like he's looking in the right direction. M key, oops, I don't want to split that. Control Shift A. I want to flip the whole thing just to see if it's egregious. Whoops. B key. I'm actually going to put it in erase mode for half a second. And let's get it. Comments coming in. Fernando wrote complaining that Fernando cheated him twice. He's a liar, cheated him 9 times. Nice. Okay, so here we've got got it. And he's got this little scoopy poopy thing. Turns towards Golik. A little bit of a leaning in kind of thing. Da-da-da-da. Comes back up out of it. There it is there. Basically just trying to keep things positioned more or less correctly. Why do we have 2 instances of that drawing? That's a hiccup right there. Let's go ahead and tween this. We might as well. So I'm gonna erase this. B. Not erase mode, you silly goose. I know it's hard to see, you guys. Okay, we'll go here. I could turn the skins on, I guess. Make my life a little easier. Yeah. Then at least I can line it up more or less correctly. Just get the basic positioning of his eyes and nose kind of sort of where they need to be. And then boom, boom. So here, obviously, the eyes are way too far apart, too wide. What about this shot? That looks like another erroneous tween to me. I'm just going to chop that one out. He snaps, because I like the idea that he kind of snaps to attention in the other direction. Let's turn the skins off. So there you go. That's the concept. And let me see, what time is it? That's an hour and 20 minutes. There goes my lovely Valerie. How you doing, baby doll? Hanging in there. I think I'm gonna let this loop for a minute. And I'm not guaranteeing I'm gonna continue when I go back. I'm either gonna bail on you guys or I'm gonna continue. But for now, I think I will go ahead and just let this loop. People can look at it and criticize. I'll tell her you said hi, Maria, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, refresh my tasty beverage, etc., etc., etc. Let the music play. Well, I'm back. Okay. Where were we?
for I so rudely interrupted myself.
Sorry about that. I accidentally turned my microphone back off. Okay. So I think all I'm really going to do here is just try to work with his characterization and then probably call it a night. And this is just good practice. Just practice basically drawing Vespar, you know, that's really what this is, just taking the opportunity to get more comfortable with because he figures pretty heavily in the whole series. I feel like maybe that's a little high. The nose is a little too low in that particular pose. Okay, so this is a repeat of this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and drag it in there. This was just a guide to get me to here, and this was a dupe of this one. So I'm going to drag it in there, but it's going to be changed because the expression isn't right. But B key, this is just a tween. Okay, his eyes were closed here, so I'm going to mod this just a bit. let's just kind of see what we've got here. Close enough for rock and roll for tonight, I think. I'm gonna call it a night. I think the only one person here now. Probably Maria. So, I guess we'll fade out the music. And there goes the music. And with that, I am going to say, hey, that went pretty well. We'll pick it up again probably tomorrow. Although, actually, I'm not sure what's going to be going on tomorrow. We got a few errands we have to run and some other... I got some commercial work I need to do tomorrow for clients. So I expect I probably won't be live streaming tomorrow. And if I do work on Salt and Light tomorrow, I'm probably going to be buried in the studio doing the voice tracks. So, thanks for hanging out, Blifton. Max, good to see you again. I didn't notice you were here, so hope you've had a good time. Maria, take care. As you guys know, there will be more later.